teacher, and I'm told about 800 of them were from Kumasi. They went to Accra, they picketed, and they were asking questions as to why they have not been paid for 8 months. And he said something that was directed at parents. So listen.
You are watching your child. Guess what? Her future is in my hands. You expect me to go to a class with hunger and teach your child. Before we vacated, we were talking about our mental well-being. Ask yourself. They told us one thing: teacher burnout.
It's real. Oh, it's about financial classes for class. It doesn't make sense.
And you take him Kivo Gari to go and teach. You come back Kivo Gari. You have to call your friends. Is it not sad?
Good question he asked. Is it not sad? Now, maybe you didn't really pay attention to what he said. This is a young teacher, and there are quite a number of them. And their challenge is that they've been working for 8 months and even more, and they've not been paid. So how does he go to the classroom and give off his best by teaching the students and the pupils? Take a listen to him one more time.
Watching your child. Guess what? Her future is in my hands. You expect me to go to a class with hunger and teach your child. Before we vacated, we were talking about our mental well-being. Ask yourself.
Before we vacated, it's not just
because of the courses, financial crisis, lack of motivation.
Lack of motivation is one financial classes. You don't need the better on your motivation.
You come back, Kivo Gari, but you have to call your friends. Is it not sad?
And this is a teacher. Yeah. One thing that comes to mind is that the students that you're teaching, the pupils that you're teaching, and you know how the young ones of today are. No one says in no classroom.
David, you remember, I think about 2 years ago, there was a gentleman, and you were magnanimous enough to host them. You remember the pharmacist we spoke to, somewhere from K University Hospital, South Central, and all that.
Yeah, I recall.
And a parent called into the show and said that, David, imagine a situation you've taken your child. Yeah, put on this. You've taken your child to school for 6 years.
Yeah.
They start working, and you, the parent, must also be giving them money.
Continue to support them financially.
For almost a year. David, when this story came to my attention yesterday, I made a post about it, and the plethora of information I got. And David, the Ghana Education Service must bow their head in shame. And David, I'm doing my submission here because they say they've not been paid 8 months. I don't want to make it 10 people NDC, because in our country, when we bring in those elements, the conversation is lost. The real facts are lost. Under the post, I'm told that rotational nurses are also not paid for months.
For months, no months. Months.
Yes. Young pharmacists are also owed money several months. Now, David, per the comment, it seems to me that we've created a certain culture that when we post new teachers and nurses, your pay won't come for 3 months. David, it doesn't make sense. I signed my multimedia contract on the 27th of January 2022 or so, the one you witnessed for me. That month, my salary came. The private sector, my salary came. Why are we making it a normalized system that you recruit people, employ them 8 solid months? David, that salary now you're saying 8 months. And David, you know what is most sad? The comment I sent you. One person told me that when the arrears occurred and she needed to get someone to process it for her, they had to pay bribes.
So the bribes comes in 2 forms. Even before you are posted, even before you get a job,
you need to.
How? You have to pay a bribe. When your money is also coming and you want somebody to assist you,
process it. You pay bribe. And sometimes, David, to the extent that you pay 50% of the lump sum.
So let me before you land, before you go any further. So when you brought it to my attention, I decided to call some of the big guys at the Education Service.
Yeah.
And ascertain from them why this is happening. The answers that I got, first of all, the person did not deny it.
Yeah.
That they are owed in some areas of 8 months.
Yeah.
The first reason is that their documents delayed. And I asked, when he said it delayed from where? The answer he gave me was that, for example, from the regions. That's why I mentioned that about 800 of them were from the Ashanti region. So which means that the GS office in the Ashanti region delayed in presenting the documentation to the head office. That's the information I gathered. And then I asked, fine, the thing has delayed in coming, but at least it has come. So why don't you work on it and then pay them? Then the other response I got was that at the time when the documents arrived, there's something they call the clearance certificate or whatever.
Yeah.
That one too had expired.
Yeah.
So because of that expiration, they could not pay them.
David.
And I'm like, listen, these are people who are working. These are people, some of them might have traveled from their comfort homes to some other regions or other districts to go and work.
Yeah.
They would need some resources to rent apartments.
Yeah.
They would need to go by transportation, clothe themselves, eat, and do all those things.
Yeah.
So if you are saying that the financial clearance had expired, why don't you attach a bit of speed to this?
David.
One other issue that they touched on, one second. One other thing that they touched on, aside from the delayance in what they call it, the documents, had to do with some challenges with their, whatever, Ghana card. And I'm like, listen, you are telling me here and now that you have issues with the Ghana card. Yet you have also told me that they received their staff IDs.
It's not even through the staff IDs, because yesterday, per the information, I spoke to some of them. Not all of them have received the staff ID. And David, you see, what is happening?
So some of them have received it.
Yes, some.
So where I was coming from was this: documentations delayed.
Yeah.
Then the certificate clearance or clearance certificate also expired.
Yeah.
You are talking about Ghana card challenges.
Yeah.
But those who have received their staff ID, it means that they have been recognized by the system.
Yeah.
So what about them?
David, you see, what the reason I'm saying David is that, David, it is a post-facto rationalization. You know, why do I say so? This is not the first time we are having this incident. David, just Google. There are those here. A lot of them, just Google. And David, you see, in this country, we normalize certain absurdities, then it becomes conventions and norms you operate with. I'm saying that it doesn't make any single sense for someone's salary to delay 3 months. And we say that there's a norm. David, I all my life. That's why I don't like using anybody's. I lived in Koforidua all my life. I moved to Kumasi 2014 to come to school. When I finished in 2018, I had to go back to Koforidua. I got my national card at the Kumasi airport. I had to purchase my brother for a year. David, there were days I cooked spaghetti. There was no milk, there was no stew, and that was what I was surviving on. Nothing. And all that through that period, I was remitting money home. Because David, let's face reality. Most of us, the situation we are in, we are the cocoa farms of our parents. They couldn't do any meaningful investment, so they invested in us to go to school, to get some work, and look after them. This is my personal national service. And David, even national service is better. Sometimes it delays 2 months, 1 month. To look at the struggle I have to go to at Asafo. Then you put someone's son and daughter. Then the explanation is that their documents in Ashanti region delayed.
But even the documentation bit, I ask myself, in this day and age where we say we're using technology.
Yes. Why should we submit documents?
Even when banks have interconnection, where one branch is in Kumasi, another one's in Tamale, but your accounts can be accessed. If you are with GES and somebody has presented his documentation to you, can't you use computer? So that when somebody is in Accra or wherever, the person can have.
I'm even told that the people who go to the district level to get some of these things, the GES system doesn't even give them some form of transportation. So the teacher who is already impoverished and not paid for 8 months, they have to do some control. And David, I'm not shocked. Remember when Alpha and Omega?
Yeah.
The series we did. A head teacher in this country was being paid 2,500 Ghana cedis. And he was supposed to send a certain document to the office. And he called David and we were able to raise funds for the teacher. Why do you treat Ghanaians as if they are children of a lesser God?
When you go to the GS right now, most of the offices doesn't have computers.
What's wrong with us?
So, which means that you have to carry the hard copy all the way to Nkran. And somebody will sit down.
This day and age.
And somebody will have to sit down and take file by file by file by file and say, I'm going through to process what?
And David, that is why I always talk about decentralization. Everything, Accra. Last year, when I started, someone said, "Oh, why are you Kumasi? Everything Accra. Why should a teacher in Kumasi's document go all the way to Accra before there's a certain approval?" And David, you see, always when this happens, they will find some form of words, terminologies, jargon, slogans to garnish their incompetence. It is not proper. And David, it is not just the teacher. They shouldn't tell us that the documents delayed. David, it's a normal practice in the public service. Open the phone lines and ask anybody when they were posted as newly trained teachers and nurses. How long did their salary last? David, the salary, I'm being told, is 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. So then 8 months, salary is saying 24,000. Rent is saying, Ediane is saying.
Somebody who says he's a member of parliament now for a certain constituency went to parliament without anything 2 years down the line, he's rich.
Charlie.
I know people that have engaged with, interviewed on this show. People when they come before,
you gave them TNT,
added 100, 200, something for Kanko. And then our cars bear 10. Our 9 bear houses bear 5. Is living luxuriously. And you've forgotten where you came from. There are people who voted for you. Some of these people are the teachers we're talking about right now. Should somebody get up and demonstrate because what? You gave him a job, and he's done his job, and you have refused to pay him. It puts all of you in a bad light.
David, you see,
all of you in a bad light.
The point is even that it is not just this bad.
The saddest thing is this, and that's my person that I was speaking to. So when is it likely for them to get their money?
And what the person say?
Mean to mean show.
You see, they pause there. They pause there. So you see, first, the explanation you are giving David is that 1, some of them have staff IDs, some of them don't have staff IDs. 2, there are issues with the Ghana card. 3, there are issues with documentation. Now, the teachers I have spoken to says they don't have these issues. David asks you, so when will they receive payment? You say don't know. So that's why I call it post-facto rationalization. They really don't have any reason for what they are doing. Then you go to a certain government office. The person who is supposed to do the work, no, Muna. It's public. All this thing you are saying, it's just customer service. The GS must know that the teachers are key ingredients. And David, I'm saying that we are not using, this is just the prompter. But just, it's a normal thing in the public sector. Why we don't pay people on time?
The first phrase that this teacher used, did you catch the first phrase? Listen to him, addressing the parents. I say, you who is watching me, your child's future is in my hands.
So it means every parent should get in on the fight.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
I watched the video of this lady who was in a village.
Indulge me. In that same regard, if there are nurses who have not been paid, your life is in that nurse's hands.
Yes.
We talk about medical negligence. Also, no go for the break. Also, by other years, my brain on your day. Or your nurse, you 3 months, 4 months on your day. You understand? Please go ahead and talk about your village thing.
So this lady was all over social media. She was posted there in this village, very remote. Every house there is half. All the buildings there are broken. The room that she got, there are potholes in the room, on the floor. The roof, some places were leaking, and the door on the room is some. Then you post somebody from their comfort of their home to this place to go and help build the nation, and then you let that person go and stay in this condition, and for 8 months you don't pay the person. I've been money too.
You, David, David, the last time I was speaking to a friend in the UK, you know, because of something, that's why I like UK. You know, she was a specialist here. In fact, our senior colleague, or him interview, I did the story of South Central.
Yeah.
Where the medical director said that the people were living like angels. Yeah. You see them this evening at work, the next morning they are Heathrow or Gatwick. David, a senior nurse here was doing care in the UK. The last time we did a conversation with some of them from the UK, what did they tell us? It's not because of salary or EBR, but the conditions of service. Yeah. Glass, omunibi, the basics. And David, you see, all this young man is asking. And the boy will acquire Sakawana, Betia, near Sofona, sorry. Then they'll be doing emotional, moral arguments. I'm also compare Crabia say, Galamse. No young boys in some moves. David, and they will come and blame him. David, I come here, obey. Guess here who cap. You see, David, that's what I always say that when the shoes come, then we become emotional judges, trying to judge people. You may not understand the situation. David, when is yesterday, the long video that my Joy News did. Look at the young girls in the videos. Look at them. And every time the Ghanaian has to picket for a salary. I don't get it.
Somebody sends a message and says that they have to borrow money. And sometimes because you know the person who you borrowed for will come looking for his money. What you do is you have to absent yourself from school. Because maybe the person might come and embarrass you.
Oh, another person's telling.
Oh yes, might come and embarrass you. So here's a situation where
you're not even teaching.
Dodgy.
No, dodgy. Your father or your mother who also catered for you also knows as Kwesi in your teaching job. Kwesi na and if you know now my 100 cedis be Kwesi minibi. Or maybe because Kwesi wants to save his face, he goes to look for somewhere to borrow some money and they give it to the mother.
David, where your firstborn cried, I say. Because in Ghana, when you're firstborn, technically, somewhere you're five. Last two, no, you are
the
technically. David, see, they shouldn't give us any post facto rationalization. Oh. The same strength they able to, because you see, you claim me. I always say that fair hearing. Because the ethos of journalism is that I say, you say, and we separate the facts. If you say it is Ghana card issue, granted. Documentation issue, granted. Staff ID issue, granted. Meanwhile, the journalist asks you, when should they receive payment? Those who don't have the issue, you don't know. So if you don't know, why are you generalizing, making it seem as if all of them have the issues you are talking about? They may be isolated cases. But David, the public service and that thing, whoever brought that thing, that 3 months you are posted, because David, you see, imagine someone lives all the life somewhere. You are migrating the person to a place, and David, largely, we live in a country where there's a huge disparity. The last time we went to from here to Okankrom is how many kilometers? You didn't go. I was with David. The one who went to do the part at Wendy's district. David, will it be up to 50 kilometers?
No, I don't think so.
When you enter the classroom and you see in fact, there was a girl. David was the one through when they bought uniform for the girl. The girl was in a black what's the word?
Jacket.
Not jacket. Inner.
Inner.
Black inner. And no the costume. No, the upper school. You should look at the state of the classroom. This is what kind
the furniture was bad.
This is what kind
the portals you were talking about. We have several portals in the classroom.
It's not portal, David. It's manholes.
Then they don't say Galamsey's will be a better description.
I don't know whether they do Galamsey in the classroom.
The ceiling was bad. The windows, Charlie,
terrible. In fact,
so
that was the first time.
Are like 10 minutes, 15 minutes drive away from.
It's more than 50 kilometers.
Oftentimes, I ask myself. So when these politicians are campaigning for votes, and they go to the rural areas, and the rural folks stay up late at night. Sometimes, because of what they are doing in terms of the campaigns, they get to some places as late as 10, at 12 midnight. So you get to the places, the people have waited for you to hear your assurances and promises and pledges you have for them. And they haven't done that. They vote for you. Meanwhile, I'm sure that when you got to that village, you know the source of drinking water.
Yeah.
You know they
don't drink it.
The healthcare delivery. You know their classrooms or their school structures. You know the challenges of these rural areas.
David, there's a story of a gentleman here. You know, I'm live, and he says that. Where is the story? He said that I was posted all the way from Obuasi to Bumpurugu in 2021.
Yo.
No, I think this is Bumpurugu. Yes, I think in 2021. After 7 or 8 months, our salary came. We were given half for the first month. Meanwhile, we started working at the start of the month January. It is Kanyakan Aira.
Just read this message for me.
He said that, hi, good morning. Please. Hi, Dave, good morning. People are talking about a month of not being captured in GS system. I've been tossed and sidelined for close to 16 years now. I have 4 kids, lost my father. And I am a father too. May God forgive them.
I think lost the husband.
Government. I say I have 4 kids. Lost their father.
Lost their father, yeah. She's a teacher. That's what the person is trying to tell us. The person is a teacher.
4 kids.
4 kids. And I think, I remember this story. She shared this story with me before. I think she wanted to transfer something. And through the system, something happened. And that's how come she's talking about it being sidelined.
David, I don't understand.
What I don't understand is, first of all, the pay is not good. You know, that money that they gave them for a month, it will not, be sufficient for them to live like normal life.
But they will manage it anyway.
Anyway. It's not the man
to the men.
The man no baby.
Listen, even the teaching,
the kind of messages, and I don't know how they were enduring this.
There are people in the GS, their promotions, and somebody will be buying chair, and they are banning jumping on. There are people, even some of their, let's say, car maintenance, say, there are people who, they are accountants and co. Some of them are sitting on people's monies. Some people, accountants, and I'm saying this on authority. There are some accountants, I'm not trying for car maintenance allowances. So, allowance and there's a lot of rot in there.
David, see, they don't you think that my suggestion I presented earlier this year should suffice? They say, oh, David, I say, David, you see, you may be laughing. When I say this, you laugh. David, I school close to Latte, where I connect the headquarters is. David, you don't go to Latte, do certain things. Maybe you should come to the point where, David, we bring this goals and let the people. Because David, you hear some of the stories. It does, David. We are not sitting and saying that we are saints. But David, how do you impress someone for Bobuasi to Punguruku? Don't pay the person 8 months. When the arrears come, now for half.
And the sad thing is for you,
what does your conscience tell you?
The same person that you have even posted up north. Many people would have refused to go, but some would
the person went.
Go. Here's the situation: the person goes, maybe does some assessment, recce of the place, realizes okay, some high dying, and some you say, comes back home and borrows money from somebody, or maybe from a bank, hoping that the salary will come. No chaneka. He goes to rent a place up north, starts teaching or working, and then for several months,
David, talking about rent, you and I always say I won't go far. I'll use my personal experience as example. Just 2 years ago, we were talking about rent. The David connection my hand or man tiring to. No, you see, me, I always bring the conversation to our level.
Let's do this. Hold on for me. Joel, I want people to go to our Facebook page right now. Share this very video. Go and watch the guy's face or the yell the casa.
Oh yeah. You can see it for them.
Or the yell pain. See, I want you to log on to our Facebook page right now, Love in the Morning. Watch the posture the guy spoke. Look at the emotions, the hurt, the pain, the disappointment.
And some man like this, like by now,
David,
we're not so girl, we're not sort of girl.
That's politicians answer by Joe again.
One sorting so again to more than
David. There's a message here for you from Asante Nyakofele. Say that good morning, Eugene. Someone paid his arrears. Someone paid. So you're talking about that, but his arrears came. I didn't pay mine. I didn't pay mine. Didn't come. I'm a newly posted teacher in your hometown in the Eastern. Oh,
listen to the guy. I said the first phrase he used or said. What he said, the first sentence. The first one, listen.
Watching your child, his or her future is in my hands.
This is easy for 4 months. David, easy for us. 4 months.
Because of the causes, financial crisis, lack of motivation.
Wait, say bad to be.
You take evil Barry.
I mean,
go and teach. You come back, evil Barry.
How did you
call your friends? Is it not sad?
The question he asked, is it not sad? Now, this is somebody who have gone through stress of going through teacher training.
Yeah.
Has gone through writing that their licensure examination. Yeah. That some unfortunately may not even pass.
Yeah.
Or pass it.
Yeah.
What postino?
Yeah.
Or in a juma. I'm sure that maybe he would have to walk miles to get to a class.
How many teachers have cars?
Or bedroom. But maybe because you don't have the kind of money. Because they know sort of maybe for lunch or for supper.
Yesterday.
Or ben na ting. We don't know shoe no for fee. School could have best.
David, yesterday, a guy sent me a video when I started this thing on Facebook. Say, maybe you could school a phone coin. Let me bring this down.
And today's workers day.
So
today's workers day.
I sound called the difference. Your Praga and your back on the football friend.
Abubuya.
It is teacher no time. To almost coffee man, that's our food. Abubuya no actually. Oh, but you haven't seen videos of teachers and nurses crossing rivers.
Oh, nurses. Yes, I've seen them. But so people are also sending their own concerns.
David, there's a story from Dominic Mensah. I said that though you are talking about geniuses at Eugene, I'm sure you even know that 4 months EC have not paid them, have not paid their temporary staff workers. As for genius issue, the least said about it, the better. David, election amount. You say one credible, free and fair election. 4 months. That's on my own. You're rationalizing. Are there things that don't make sense? Somehow, some way, they get to the leadership and it makes sense for them. 4 months. Someone has supervised election. Results have been declared. President Mahama has been the president for almost 120 days or so.
I can't 6 days to the 120 days.
Those who ensured the election was largely free and fair, if not pay them. And nobody is bothered about this. The last time Dr. Case to force It's a birthday. The last time the Dr. Kisato Forsen did the Twitter thing. You remember the story about the young pharmacist? Month. David, me as a mekasa.
Was it years or months?
The pharmacist, I think it's a month. I think it's month.
No.
Some will be years.
We'll cross check.
That's crazy.
Have you seen a video of this teacher who was going to school with a bunch of kids? Apparently, some of the kids don't come to school, so sometimes she will go to their houses and fetch them. So on the bush, we're going to school. I would do come now. Now I will go him. They went on the road. They saw a snake.
Oh,
on the path, and they, so you could see the food. They saw the snake, and then they ran back home.
So today, when we're observing the day as Workers' Day.
Do you know
Workers'
something?
Day, and then somebody is saying that, oh, Workers' Day, I'm going to celebrate. I'm observing the day. These people who have not been paid, what are they observing? What are they observing? What are they celebrating?
You know. Yesterday, David, this job you do, you get information. Yesterday, someone confided in me that all his life, he's not been able to go to a restaurant and say, I'm going to have a good treat.
Oh.
He's the first of three. The mother and dad, old age. So family, yeah. So he can't even go to.
Say, you one plate.
Because the restaurant you go, even if you don't go to David level restaurant and come to our level, it's like 60 cities.
Yeah,
cocktail 1 million.
Catching some money for one or pay crowd. Catching some money for one or pay crowd,
No. David, you see David, when you bring in president and you honestly want me to assume that Mahama lives on the salary? No, the perks of the office alone is enough. Teacher perks of office. David,
President Mahama said he's
so somebody sends a message.
He said that though they've not been paid.
Somebody sends a message. A lawyer sends a message and said the president hasn't been paid.
I disagree.
Don't go there, please.
I disagree.
Not this morning.
David, do you know that in fact most nurses in our country, I learned it when we did the Tafu Pankrono story, they don't have health insurance.
What?
David, did you know that nurses in our country are not on health insurance? Nurses, the frontline health practitioners, they don't have a health insurance. It's only the teaching hospital that have an internal system for some of their nurses.
Read the message.
So let's not even go there. President have not been paid. David, I'm coming. If President Mahama today, God touch wood, says OTRA and everything, the state will fund them abroad to go and pay. How many teachers do you fund there? So let's not even go there. The perks of office that they enjoy.
Presidents who have finished their term,
we take off them.
do you know what happens to them?
David, someone says that
the cars that they change for them and all that.
David, someone says God save our motherland. David, believe it or not, I've suffered the same fate. This is
no, it's today. But read it. You continue.
Yes, it says that David, believe it or not, I've suffered the same fate as a newly posted teacher. 25. You see.
Check the
So this is the 2000s. So.
Check the date again. 2000, 25 years ago, the same thing happened to him as a teacher, and we'll be repeating the same thing out to 2025.
David. So someone has drawn the connection. For apparently, most of the people they recruited for the EC job are teachers. So, what kept side has no going on pay na ama. Someone is also teasing me for wearing a Liverpool jersey. It's normal. We've won the league. So when your team wins the league, also wear your jersey. That's my first strawberry there. But David,
listen, today's Workers' Day. How does it feel like to be a Ghanaian worker? Not just the teachers. If you're a teacher, you have been posted, you have not been paid, and you want to share with us how you're coping out there. Teachers, you can call us. If this one happened to you, like somebody sent as a message and said this one happened to him some 25 years ago, you can share your own experience with us as well as a teacher when you first got posted.
Oh,
and then today being Workers' Day, as a Ghanaian worker, how do you feel being a Ghanaian worker? How does it feel being a Ghanaian worker? You can call us now on 0322083596, 0322083597, and 0322083598.
There's a message for you. Should I read it?
Yeah, hold on 1 second for me. So today is a holiday. We're observing the day as such, and it's Workers' Day. As a Ghanaian worker, be it a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, whoever you are, as a Ghanaian worker, how do you feel being a Ghanaian worker? That's number one. But the main conversation this morning has had to do with teachers who have been posted and they've not been paid for 8 good months. If you fall within that category, How does that make you feel? How are you coping? How are you managing? What does the message say?
It says that, David, they intentionally pay only 1 month of the many months of work. If you don't pay to a middleman for the rest to be paid, then the money will never come.
I pray that a guy somebody would be able to do some investigation, fish these middle persons out, and let's deal with them. What is this? And to say, who are when you and you want to play the role as a middleman, and you are extorting money from this person who has not been paid for.
What kind of carelessness is that?
No,